Welcome back to the fourth interview in our ongoing 0 to 10K journey with Tim, where we break down his August results. This month, Tim has been testing even more aggressively, from Amazon ads to email list building, and continuing to scale with new systems and a growing publishing team. We'll talk results, ad spend, profitability, lessons learned, and some common questions from the YouTube comments. Big welcome back, Tim.
How's it going, everybody? Happy to be back. Some exciting news to bring this month.
Nice, happy to have you here. What were the gross and net royalties in August?
Let me jump into PublishFlow. I'm also going to show a screenshot again, as in last video. Exciting news, guys. I've already mentioned it. First, let me mention again last month, in case you didn't watch the video before. Last month was a jump from 200 euros in gross, I believe, to about 650 euros in gross. This month, we've jumped up to 7,450 euros in gross, approximately, which is about, I believe, 8K or so dollars gross. But now comes the point. Don't be in Germany we say don't be happy too early. It's net royalties of minus 2.5K still. However, I'm gonna explain this later when we talk about ads a little bit more. Yeah, the net royalties is so low, or so far in the minus, because we went crazy on the Amazon ads. I got the Amazon ads unlock. I think I mentioned that last interview. Basically, there was a limiting on my Amazon ads, which allowed me to only spend like $30 per day. But yeah, that has been removed. We did some crazy launch strategies. When I said we, it's me and Gerald. Gerald manages the ads for my KDP account. Yeah, and now this month is looking very good so far. This will be the first green month. We're now at between 50 and 100 euros net royalties on day per day. Publisher Champ says daily average net royalties 80 euros. So it's going good so far. I'm happy with the results. Yeah.
It's great to hear. And for those who don't know, how were the results in July and how does it compare to August now?
I think I mentioned that in July we were at 650 euros gross approximately, and minus 250 euros net. So there has been a big jump, which is thanks to the ads possibility, which has been unlocked for us. I now have the chance to get the books positioned properly. Yeah.
That's more of a 10x in both gross and negative.
Yeah. But let's hope we can 10x it again. Hopefully the negative net doesn't get 10x. But yeah, the goals still are big. I'm still not happy. Of course, I'm a little bit calmed down now that I see, okay, it's working. But yeah, goals didn't change.
Like you said, September will be very interesting. Now you're finally in profit. What's the BSR ranking trend of your top 3 books right now?
I would say I think it's about 80% of the revenue comes from one book. This book is performing incredibly well, has a good organic ranking now. This one has a BSR of 4.5K at the moment in the US market, which is very good. The second book, it's a BSR of 40K. It jumps back between 30 and 50K approximately. Then I have another book which is also at 40K. Let me check this book. So that has been the top 3. The 4th best earning book is a German book in the German market and has a BSR of 60K at the moment. Has been lower though. It has lost a little bit of ranking. But yeah, that's the range between 5 and 50K. I would say my best earning books.
That's great. One of the commenters from the last video asked this directly. How's your net looking when you factor in all the outsourcing. So, for example, ghostwriting, cover design, interior formatting, ad spend, project management slash freelancers, would you still be in profit if you weren't reinvesting?
Okay. Let's see. I think best is if I just break down the cost per book here. You mentioned ghostwriting, formatting, cover design, etc. So I still do some big parts in the process. It depends on some books. But for some books, I don't do the manuscripts. For some books, I do the manuscripts myself. I have an editor though who goes over it for all books. Let me take this it's a children's book format as an example. Ghostwriting is 0 because I do it myself. Then I pay the editor on 50. For the interior design, it has illustrations on every page. That I pay the freelancer about between 150 and 175 approximately. Depends on the freelancer. I have multiple ones. Also the length of the book, of course. And on top of that, so we now have editor, interior design, and then the last step is I take a formatter which puts the edited text into the interior design basically. That is about $40. So that comes out to about 250, 260, excuse my math here. And that's pretty much the average for all books. And I now have, I believe it's 15 books online. So you do the math there.
Okay. Let's get into Facebook ads. What worked in August and what didn't?
So at the moment, I've reduced the Facebook ads to only one book, only running Facebook ads to one book. That's the only one that has been running profitable overall. I spent about 30 euros per day on Facebook ads, which the book is more or less break-even ad cost, but since it has now a good organic ranking through the Facebook ads keyword link strategy that Andre teaches inside DPE, which is working really well for this book. It has a really good organic ranking now, and it's also making about 20 euros profit per day through the organic sales that are on top. Otherwise, Facebook ads, no changes this month or last month. Now in September, I will go heavy again on Facebook ads. I'm publishing a lot of books right now, the seasonal books, and I think for those, Facebook ads will be one key component. Yeah, because the strength of Facebook ads, as I already mentioned, that you can get it like the external traffic bonus and the like conversion rate boost that you can get to Facebook ads makes it really easy to rank for big keywords organically. I know somebody from DPE, for example, he also did the strategy, and he was for a while like top 3 search results for books for men, which has a crazy high search volume. So yeah, not much updates on Facebook ads. However, I am aware of the value of it and will go hard again this month for different kind of books.
Brief shameless plug you don't want to miss. Have you ever wanted to meet other KDP self-publishers in one room, exchange ideas, and have a great time together? Then our 2-day Mastermind event in Las Vegas on October 25 and 26 is exactly what you're looking for. Uncover secret strategies in our speeches, get one-on-one advice from me and our team in workshop sessions, and exchange ideas with other publishers at your level and above. Click on the first link in the description to find out more. That's great. How's your Amazon ads running now? What kind of ACoS or ROAS are you seeing?
Yeah, maybe back to the net royalties of this month to explain how it developed to Amazon ads. Let's say first I'm gonna say what I spend at the moment. At the moment I spend around 200 to 250 euros per month per day on Amazon ads. However, in the beginning of last month, I have for 5 days straight spent between 500 and 700 euros per day. That brought up the ACoS a lot. However, it was able to position my books. Now the overall ACOS, I think overall ACOS is about 60%. However, this was because we went really crazy with the Amazon ads for a couple of days. Last 7 days is average ACOS 45%. Last 30 days is also, I believe, 1 second. Yeah, it's also 47%. Yeah, we're going still relatively hard on the Amazon ads, but however, it's profitable now. I realized this month because I wasn't able to realize before because my ads account hit the spending limit. I realized how important Amazon ads is to really position a book. My book I mentioned that has 4.5K PSR. It also has a bestseller badge, and like this crazy launch strategy, bringing crazy money into the book to get it to rank well and get the bestseller badge. That translates really well into organic sales now, and yeah, it's basically the main factor which allowed this jump in royalties for this one.
Okay. What was the total ad spend in August?
Some might have already done the math, but total ad spend in August was 10,000 euros, pretty much exactly 10,000 euros and 10,007 euros, which is, I believe, $11K or something like that. Sounds scary. Still is everything in the green. How do you say it in English? Everything still going as planned, more or less. Yeah.
And any changes in ad pricing or bidding strategy, for example, for Q4? I know you did have a change in terms of when the spending limit got unlocked, you had to bid lower for many books.
Yeah, exactly. So before I had the spending limit unlocked, the bids were set at like 4 to 5 euros, which is like $6. I have to stop. I'm just gonna say euros from now on. And yeah, through lowering the spending limit, I was able to get the bids much lower. They are at a normal bidding range now. And yeah, that's also before the ads limit removed, it was basically impossible to run profitable ads or to position a book. And yeah, that's not possible with normal bids, I believe. I'm not 100% sure how much I bid. It's also different for every book, of course, but it's a normal range, I can say.
I believe you were bidding before the unlock. You were bidding around $4 or something.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
you couldn't see any spent on it, but obviously that was because of the limitation. And once that got unlocked, you saw a lot of red or a few red days. There it was probably minus, I don't know how much, minus 1,000 euros, or what was it?
Yeah, it was a couple of days minus 600, minus 700. I was like, what the fuck, Gerald? What are we doing, Gerald? This can't be right. But yeah, he knows his stuff.
Okay. Another commenter asked about your email list setup. How are you staying compliant with Amazon guidelines when offering bonuses? For example, how do you structure the landing page, free bonus without email, extra bonuses behind email, email wall? So yeah, that's the question from the viewer.
Yeah. So for some books, I have it set up like you mentioned to the viewer, where they get a free bonus up front for free before entering the emails, more or less, and then they can enter the email to get additional bonuses. However, I don't do this for every book. This book, which I mentioned as an example, there the bonus it's not necessary for the book, but it makes the book complete more or less. And for other books where I just like provide additional content, the funnel is basically set up like this. So I have a QR code in the book, last page. I also mentioned it in the table of contents. And on below the QR code or somewhere on the page on the QR code, I mention explicitly that this bonus is optional. It's not required for the book. This is just an additional resource the reader can get. And by doing that, I'm staying 100% compliant. I believe so, at least. They scan the QR code. They come to a page. There's no form on the page, but they can click a button. They get the button, then they get to the page where there is the bonus advertisement and the form. And then there they enter the email, enter the form, and then through our DPE software, Publish Elite, the whole bonus delivery gets handled. So yeah, I explicitly write. I think this is the key factor here. I explicitly write on the page that this bonus is optional. It's not required to enjoy this book and to get the most out of this book. This is purely like a bonus goodie for the readers.
Yes, an extra resource. I think that's a good answer. I think the problem comes when you say, okay, if you want to read just an extreme example, if you want to continue to read chapter 6, 7, 8, and 9, then enter your email here. That would obviously not be compliant. So it's making it clear that this is an extra resource. It's optional. It's not needed. I think that's key.
That's also how I saw other really big publishers do it.
Yeah. Is your email list starting to convert into reviews, sales, or feedback?
Yeah, I've gotten some reviews from the email list. However, the email list in total, if I combine the how do you say it, email list members for all brands and pen names that I have, I believe I'm now at about 100, 150 maybe. I can't really determine who reviewed through the email list, which reviews came organic, but I believe that there are some email list reviews coming in, but I can't tell you the exact amount here. But yeah, it's definitely paying off to provide good bonuses.
Okay. You have been dabbling with TikTok. One commenter expressed frustration with the TikTok shop hype. What's your real take on TikTok for publishing right now? Is it worth the time? Are you using TikTok shop, or you are just using it for content plus traffic?
Well, I think I've mentioned it last video as well. I'm still not using TikTok shop. However, I started posting now on TikTok. I also from multiple brands. Also, since I'm in the US, I publish books in the US market, and I am from Germany. It's a little bit complicated since I can't publish the videos myself on TikTok to the geo restriction. The US people won't see it if I post it from Germany. I had a little bit of struggle setting this system up. I set it up with US freelancers, basically. It's some US students who do it for very, very low price, I found over Upwork. Setting everything, I basically I do carousel TikToks. It's just carousels of the book with some good captions and relatable captions with some sales arguments as well. It has been a little bit struggle to connect with the students, and some people they stop replying. At one freelancer, she already created the accounts, she warmed up the accounts, and after a couple of days she said, I can't do this anymore. I can do anything else for you, every social media platform, but I deleted TikTok. Some funny story that happened. Yeah, I'm struggling a little bit with finding the right freelancers there who actually do the warm up properly, etc. for the accounts. But yeah, I also do it for a German book where I do the posting. It's going well. The videos are making views, but I have to be honest, I don't see a noticeable increase in sales now yet for that book. However, I'm going to keep doing it and giving you an update on that. Overall, also for the US books, I can't really see a noticeable increase. However, I think just seeing a lot of case studies and being aware how powerful TikTok and viral marketing can be, I think TikTok is definitely worth the time figuring it out, finding the key route, like finding the way to go. It's definitely worth the time. I can see that it can be a little headache with the TikTok shop. I also have to find a solution there. But I think doing the content itself, just carousel reels. I've seen a lot of good case study with just carousel reels where they just photograph the book. Some have a first slide that kind of uh, um, that the target audience can connect to. Some just have the book cover as the first slide. Um, I think it doesn't require much work. How I did it, I can maybe go into that a little bit. So I have, I think I do it for 4 books now, and for every book there's 3 accounts, and I created a long sheet with all the captions for the videos. For each account, there's 52 videos. Each video has a caption, a title, description is all the same. And they now added the title and description system in TikTok. Before it was just one field, but now in the description I enter the hashtag, title I enter a good copy line. Yeah, I gave that to freelancers. They create the accounts, 1 account per day, then they warm it up, and then they just create 52 drafts on every account, and then it's just pressing the button once per week. Overall, I believe it's about 10 hours per month or so. It's really not much work if you outsource it. And you can do it really cheap. They all do it for like $5 a week. And then the next month, so the 10 hours is just 10 hours because they have to set up the accounts and warm them up. And then after the accounts are set up, it's maybe 3 hours per month that you have to pay. So it's really cheap. But you have to find somebody who is actually willing to work for such low money and still be reliable, because that's it's a little bit challenging. Yeah.
Okay. What updates have you made to your publishing systems or SOPs this month?
So I'm currently, I think I mentioned it as well in one of the last videos, I've tuned down the production a little bit. That's why I'm currently not creating too many new books. I'm still creating new books, but not as crazy as I've went in the first 2 months. So yeah, I'm publishing less at the moment. I'm working more on optimizing existing books, getting, for example, this month I've done the Amazon influencer reviews, editorial reviews. So yeah, I'm focusing more on optimizing new books at the moment. Still like existing books. Yeah. Otherwise, nothing much has changed in terms of SOPs. There have been some. I have done a lot of covers this month for upcoming books, and I feel like I've gotten better at doing covers. I've gotten quicker at doing covers. Yeah. Otherwise, I think not many changes here.
Are you still publishing 7 books a month?
No, last month there was 0 books published. I think this month we now have the 9th of September. I think I've already published like 12 books or so. So this month I'm going crazy, and I'm doing more as well. Yeah.
Okay. Have you hired or fired any freelancers in August?
I've paused to work with some freelancers at the moment who were working a lot more before. However, what I've changed up is I've created a lot of medium content books last month. And for that, I found a new freelancer, Canva freelancer, who I think those books, they cost like, since I do the cover myself, overall plus with A plus content, like 40 euros, maybe $45. So yeah, I've set up a little system for medium content books, which is very cheap. Yeah.
How close are you to being fully out of the freelancer chaos phase?
At the moment, to be honest, it doesn't feel too much like chaos. So I will say I'm more or less at the moment I'm out of it, but I can imagine that it will also go up again. I don't know yet when I will go crazy with the production again. First, I will let some profit come in, and then I go crazy with the production again. There will be some chaos again, but I think chaos is just part of the process. First, you create chaos, then you organize the chaos. So, so
That's
yeah.
That's a good saying. First you create chaos and then you organize the chaos. So when we scale, it's always messy, but we can't expect it to be fully organized and orderly when we scale, but rather, like you said, we optimize after, and that's when we cut the fat, so to speak. We remove the freelancers that don't work. We remove the processes. Maybe we have certain types of books we're creating that don't work. We just cut those out, and then we keep what is working. So I'm glad you brought that up.
I
You're
think it's also
Yep, go ahead.
maybe I want to mention. I think it's also important to not be scared of that chaos. I feel like this is also I've made the same experience with myself. Like you cannot be afraid to take a next step because it will create chaos. I think it's just part of the process. Don't be afraid of chaos. Intentionally, maybe even intentionally create chaos. I think it's unavoidable if you go a step further than you've been before. So don't be scared of the chaos. It's yeah, it's part of the process. It will fuck your brain. It will mess with your brain for a while, but it will fall. Everything will fall into place all the time, pretty much. If you don't lose focus and yeah, don't be afraid of chaos.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it's like you're driving a car, you in the dark. You don't see all the road ahead, but if you just focus on the things that lighting up, that's right in front of you, if you keep driving, you will eventually get to your destination. And I think that's one coping mechanism that can help when it feels like there's so much chaos. We just, okay, what's right in front of me? I'll just handle that.
Yeah, yeah, I've been there too. Just I know the feeling when you have so many things that you get distracted or you can't really focus on one thing, but you always have to like make a list, see what's the most important thing right now. Just ignore the other things. Even if it feels like it can't wait, most of the time it's okay if it waits, and just focus on what's the most important thing. Do one thing at a time. Also, yeah, it's the only way to get out of it more or less.
Yeah, prioritize and execute. You're 4 months in. What's your current mindset as you start seeing traction now? You mentioned the numbers for September, making four you're going to make over 10K estimated US dollars,
Yeah.
and you're in month 5. So that's really fast. Of course, not all of that is profit. You mentioned around over $2,000 in profit estimated. How is your mindset now? We're finally, I know I've been teasing you a little bit in the previous videos. I've been saying, will you ever be digging yourself out of the hole that you're digging? How do you feel now when you're finally starting to see the fruits of your labor?
First, I think it's only the fourth month. Published the first book in May, so we have May, June, July, August. Okay, no, it's the fifth month, depending on how you see it. My mindset is still as it has been. Goals are still big. I want to push it really hard. I'm not happy yet. The initial goal of 10K per month by December. I think in video 2 or so, I already said, fuck it, I'm going for 30K. Um, yeah, I'm just push it to the moon. I want to see the graph go to the moon every night. I close my eyes and I envision the graph going to the moon. Um, yeah, I'm still hyped. I'm still having fun. Now that I am in the green, it's much more fun. Um, yeah, it feels good to be on this journey. I'm glad I started with all of this. I'm glad I found the connection to you and then to the DPE community. And yeah, I'm glad I kind of slid into the book publishing scene, and now I'm making it work. So it feels very good. I'm still very confident and very motivated.
Yeah. I know we met, when we met, you mentioned you were dreaming about KDP. Is that still something that happens from time to time?
Uh, it has been not like that was the beginning phase where I worked like 12 hours on KDP every day. I woke up being scared of getting banned. I woke up thinking about freelancers. I saw Photoshop in my dream. It's better now. So I sleep normally. I don't have KDP nightmares anymore. I learned to deal with the KDP ban paranoia. Um, yeah, it's very good.
That's good. Yeah, but I think I've been both the cause and hopefully I've been a little bit as a therapist. I've been is scaring you up with the with KDP bans and productive paranoia, but hopefully at the
Yeah,
same time I've also been saying that if you do things the right way, even if the worst case were to happen, in most cases the account comes back. So it's not something we need to obsess about. It's just focusing on doing the right thing over and over again and putting processes in place that ensures we don't do any plagiarism of trademark or
yeah,
anything like that. Yeah.
100%.
Any lessons you've learned in August that would have saved you time earlier?
Mm, maybe like I would have created that book has been on the plan from the start more or less that has been published now. But if I would knew how good that niche works with that angle of positioning that I have, I would have instantly created more books. But that I couldn't have known that. Um, but yeah, the book that is making like 80% of the revenue right now. I'm creating a second book for that series right now. Well, it's not really a series, but I'm making a series out of it to get the branding bonus. Um, so yeah, that's one. It's not really learning. I knew it before. I was kind of waiting for one book to pop up so I can expand on that brand. But yeah, that is one important like goal that has developed this month to make this next book and this for this series, and probably more books for this series. Yeah.
Yeah. Has your Q4 strategy shifted based on what August has shown you?
No, it's still go crazy on the seasonal books. They got the first reviews coming in on the ebook. Paperback launches are coming soon. I got paperback launch for some of them, but yeah, the strategy still remains the same. Um, and I just sit there, hope, and strategize that everything will go out as planned. Yeah.
That's great. We have heard about the estimated for September now. Of course, while we're recording, it's 9th of September, so still early to tell, but what are your concrete goals for September?
Get all the seasonal books out, get the second book out to that series I mentioned for the book that performs really well. For the second best performing book, I've also created a follow-up book, which is targeted at the same Facebook ads audience, I will also try to get this boosted to Facebook ads. I see big potential there. Um, and revenue-wise, I think I want to aim for the 15K gross and net. To be honest, I don't care as long as it's profitable. If it's unprofitable, it's also okay. Um, I've now seen the power of being unprofitable first and then getting profitable. Um, so yeah, gross 15, I would be happy about. Net everything over zero, I would be happy about.
The interesting observation that I just made, how you answered that question. There are two types of goals. We have input goals, we have results goals, and you answered by saying what you want to accomplish that is within your control first. And I really like that because I think a lot of people, they would answer, yeah, my goal is to make 20,000, but then it stops there. There's no plan for how to achieve it, but you're focusing now because the books that you're getting out for September, they're not necessarily going to bring in revenue for September, but rather in October and November, December especially is when they are going to take off. So that's a good observation to make, is that you are focusing still on planting the seeds and developing the seeds, as you put it in one video. So I think that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you should always keep planting the seeds and developing new seeds, doing some gene manipulation to the seeds. Also, farmers, if they stop planting seeds, they will go broke. So it's a good analogy, I think. And yeah, process goals and input goals. I think process goals, they don't work without input goals. I think also in Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill also writes like a great plan just stays a plan without a clear vision of the path to that goal. So yeah, I think the input goals is the dependent factor for the process goals. Yeah.
Yeah. What's one big bet you're making in September?
One big bet I'm making for September. Not really any bet. What I'm risking, maybe I will run Facebook ads for all of the seasonal medium content books. That will be a very high ad spend for a testing period. Maybe it works for all of them, then I'm very happy. But that's a risk more or less I would take, but it's a calculated risk. I don't feel like it's a risk. That's just part of the plan. And I'm sure some of it will work through Facebook ads, and that will be worth it then. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just betting heavy on the seasonal books, but it's not a bet for this month more or less, but more or less for Q4. Yeah, I'm also not betting on them. I mean, right now I'm making good results without seasonal books, so it's just like a good bonus bet I'm trying to play here. Yeah, so there's no really risk to it. I mean, I invested money to get those books created, but I think they will 100% at least make that amount back that I've invested into the production. Yeah.
Okay, once again, thank you very much, Tim, for coming on and doing these interviews. For those of you who are watching, if you want to see the results from other publishers as well, we can recommend the free Skool Community. There, for example, Andre, he posts every month his results, and he also asks other publishers what were their results. So go in there and get some motivation and inspiration. Any final words, Tim, as we wrap up?
Maybe a message to Ayhan. Ayhan, I'm coming for you. If you're watching this, I'm coming for you. Otherwise, that's it. I'm happy to share my journey here. Always happy to read the comments. Otherwise, yeah.
All right, great. For context, for those of you who are watching, you can search for Driven Publishers, Ian, and you will see the interviews with Ian as well, and you will probably understand now. Tim and Ian has some competition going on here, so that's great to see. Okay, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye bye, guys.